The Adventure of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by Sirinthip Pengprasittipong. Chapter 6. In the Graveyard. At 9:30 that night, Tom and Sis were sent to bed as usual. They said their prayers, and Sis was soon asleep. Tom lay awake and wet and less impatient. The clock struck 11. Then there came Huck singing the mewing of a cat. A minute later Tom dashed and out of the window. He crept along the roof of the wood and then jumped to the ground. Huckleberry Finn was there, with his cat. The boy moved and disappeared in the darkness. Half an hour later they were stepping through the tall grass of the graveyard. It was on a hill, about a mile and a half from the village. A faint wind moaned through the tree, and Tom feared that it might be the spirits of the dead complaining about this disturbance of their rest. The boys talked in whispers, for the time anticipated. The solemnity and the silence and had depressing effects on them. They found the half of nearly dark earth which they were seeking, and kept within a protection of their great tea. They skill within a few feet of a cave. Then they were in silence for what seemed a long time. The mournful cry of distant birds was the only sound that troubled the silence. "Huck, do you believe that these people like us to be here?" said Tom in a whisper. "I wish I knew," whispered Huck. "It's awfully solemn, isn't it?" "It is." There was a long pause. "I say, Huck, do you think Horace Williams can hear us talking?" "Of course he can. At least his spirit can." Another long pause followed. "I wish I'd said Mr. Williams," breathed Tom, "but I never missed any harm. Everybody called him Horace." "You should be very careful how you talk about these people, Tom." This was discouraging, and conversation days again. Suddenly Tom seized Huck's arm and exclaimed, "What is it, Tom?" The two boys held on to each other, their heads beating fast. "There it is again! Did you hear it?" "Oh, Tom, they're coming! What are we do?" "I don't know. Do you think they all see us?" "Oh, Tom, they can see in the dark just like cats. I wish I hadn't come." The boys bent their heads together and scary birches. A dull sound of white voice up from the far end of the graveyard. "Look there!" whispered Tom. "What is it?" "It's devil free!" "Oh, Tom, this is awful!" Some very figures approached through the gloom, swinging an official lamp. "It's devils, I'm sure. They're of them. Tom will never get away alive. Can you pray?" "I'll try, but don't be afraid. They are not going to hurt us." "What is it, Huck?" "They are human beings. One of them is Curtin, that old pastor White." "No, it isn't, is it?" "I know it. Don't stir. He isn't sharp enough to notice us." "Drunk as usual, I expect." "All right. I'll keep still. Here they come again." "I said, Huck, I know another of them. It is Redskin Joe." "That's so." The smothering half-breed. "I'd rather have devils." "What do they want?" The 3 men reached the grave and stood within a few feet of the boy's hiding place. "Here it is," said the third wife, and the owner of inhaled the lamp up and reversed the face of young Dr. Robinson. Pastor Redskin Joe had a headcast from which they took a blanket, a rope, and toothpaste. Then they began to open the gap. "Honeyman," said the doctor in a low voice, "the moon may come out any moment." They met, and in the silent repair, and you were thinking. For some time there was no noise, but the sound of the spade moving the edge. Finally a spade struck the oven, and within another minute or two the men had lifted it out. They broke off the lid with their spade, cut out the body, and dropped it on the ground. The moon sails out from behind the coast and lifted up the short-grey face. In handcuffs, what got ready, and the body was paid on it, covered with the blankets, and bound in its place with the rope. Potter looked at Neve, cut the end of the rope, and then said, "Now the casting ready, Sawbones, and your hand out another $5. Or here it stay." "That's the way to talk," said Redskin Joe. "What does this mean?" asked the doctor. "You demand you pay in advance, and I have paid you." "Yes, and you have done more than that," said Redskin Joe, approaching the doctor. "5 years ago you drove me away from your father's kitchen one night when I came to ask for a bit of bread, and you called me a scoundrel. When I swore that I'd make you suffer for that, even if it took me 100 years. Your father has me put in prison as a vagabond. Did you think that I with native blood in me would forget such treatment? And now I have got, and you must pay for it." He was threatening the doctor with his fist in his face by this time. The doctor struck out suddenly and knocked the Williams down. Pastor dropped his knife and exclaimed, "Here, don't strike me, Penner." The next moment Potter and the doctor were fighting fiercely. Redskin Joe sprang to his feet, his eyes flaming with fury, snatched up Potter's knife, and went creeping, cat-like, about the struggling men seeking for an opportunity. Suddenly the doctor tore himself free, seized the heavy headboard of William's cave, and stunned Potter with it. At the same instant the half-breed saw his chance and drove the knife up to the handle in the young man's breast. He struck it and fell partly upon Potter, fighting him with his boot. At the same moment the crowd covered up the dreadful spectacle, and the two terrified boys seized this opportunity to keep away in the darkness. When the moon came out again, Redskin Joe, I was standing over the two men, regarding them thoughtfully. The doctor murmured something, gave a long gasp or two, and was still. The half-breed muttered, "That's how it says cost you." Then he rose. Potter raised hand and sat down on the broken coffin. 3, 4, 5 minutes passed, and then Potter began to stir and moan. His hand closed upon the knife. He rushed it again, and its hand let it fall with a shiver. Then he sat up, pushing the body from him, and gazed at it and around him confused. His eyes met Redskin Joe. "Good heavens! What's this, Joe?" he says. "It's a nasty business," repeats Redskin Joe without moving. "What did you do it for?" I don't do it." Potter trembled and went white. I wasn't drunk. I shouldn't have touched and drink tonight. But it's in my head, yes. I can't remember anything about this. Tell me, Joe Stafford. Now, old fellow, this I do is Joe. Upon my soul and house, I swear that I never meant to. Joe. Tell me how it happened, Joe. Oh, it's awful. And he was just a fine young doctor. While you two were talking, and he hit you with the headboard and knocked you down. Then you got up, snatched the knife, and stuck it into him just as he hit you again. And you have been lying here till now. Oh, I didn't know what I was doing. It was our ex-house of the drink and examine, I'm sure. I never used a weapons in my life before, Joe. The poor creature disposed on his knees and held out his arm before the murderer. Joe, don't tell. Say that you won't tell, Joe. That's a good fellow. I have always liked you, Joe, and defend you too. You won't tell, will you, Joe? No, you have always been good to me. Pastor and I'll keep my mouth shut. Oh, Joe, you are an angel. I'll bet you for this still. My dying day. He began to cry. Come, now that's enough of that, said Redskin Joe. You have that way and I'll go this. Move now and don't leave and track behind you. Potter hurried away and the half-breed stood looking after him. If he as much stunned with the wall and as stupid with the dings as he seemed to be, Redskin Joe muttered. He won't think of the knife till he's gone so far that he'll be afraid to come back for the cover.